Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a bombshell of a report to share with you, and one in which no one in the mainstream media is talking about. I haven't really heard anyone bring this up. Reason being probably because of what's going on with the devastation with Harvey and Irma and the hurricanes, and rightly so. It's just a mess what's going on there. However, we cannot ignore the things that are happening right now, and this is why I wanted to do this report. Now, all has been quiet on the United Nations front until now. They're actually holding their 72nd General Assembly. Now, this started on the 12th of September, so just the other day. But here's the thing. What's on the agenda is even more creepy and bizarre and terrifying, and you need to know about it because the ultimate goal is to implement a global order and take away your sovereignty and take away your rights as an American citizen here. And I believe Donald Trump is hopefully attempting to prevent that. Now, that said, the General Assembly is being held in New York City. Donald Trump obviously is going to be involved in that also, and he wants to hopefully downgrade the amount of money that we're paying to the UN. So that's a good thing about that particular part. However, the theme this year is this, and I'm going to quote, focusing on people. Always good to focus on people, right? Striving for peace and a decent life for all on a sustainable planet. So this is all about Agenda 21. They want to push Agenda 21. They want to implement it, and they want to focus on people to do it. How do we get people to push Agenda 21? That is what the UN General Assembly, the 72nd one, is all about, and that's what's on their table. And they'll be meeting off and on all this week. But the president of the General Assembly, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but M-I-R-O-S-L-A-V, L-A-J-C-A-K is how you spell it. But in the opening statement, he had to say this. He said, the UN was created for people. The people who need the UN the most are not sitting in this hall today. They are not involved in negotiation or resolutions. They do not take the floor at high-level events. It is one of the tasks of the General Assembly to make sure that their voices can still be heard. Well, let me let you hear my voice. I don't want a UN governing America. We don't elect who's at the UN. We don't have a say who's making those rules. And there is no oversight for UN other than each other. So get out of America as far as I'm concerned, because I don't want your policies implemented here. Now, do we need peaceful relationships between countries? Absolutely, we have to have that. But when you try to enforce your laws, rules, and regulations on my country to take away my sovereignties and push me into a new world order, then I've got issue with that. And that's kind of the line that they're crossing. All right, so this is the document, and I'm gonna throw it up on the screen here so you can kind of see it. But it's the provisional agenda of the 72nd regular session of the General Assembly. That's going to be held at the UN headquarters in New York starting September 12th. So what exactly is on this agenda? Well, typical stuff that you're going to hear about: Economic and Social Council, nuclear war, North Korea, terrorism, peace, world peace, like that's even achievable. But all that is on there. I'm going to kind of skip over that and get to some of the highlights. So on the second page here, you can see that on number 15, culture of peace. They want to implement peace. Great. It's always on there. 16, and this is a big one, the role of the UN in promoting a new global human order. There it is. A new world order. Maybe they're not calling it a new world order now. It's got a new name. New global human order. When the people resist and they don't like the name of something like New World Order, they just change it. New human global order. We also heard Obama call it an international order. It goes by many names, but the end result is the same, a new world order. Admitted on number 16. I don't know why anyone denies that. Moving on to macroeconomic policy, number 18, of course, trade, development of trade, international financial system and development, debt sustainability, commodities, financial inclusion for sustainable development. That's Agenda 21. F, promotion of international cooperation to combat illicit financial flows in order to foster Agenda 21. Moving on a little bit. Number 20, sustainable development. Of course, that's a big part of it. It always is. implementation right there on letter A of Agenda 21. That's what it boils down to. And letter D, protection of global climate for present and future generations of humankind. Protection of global climate. Is that a hint that maybe you control the weather a little bit, or you have your hand in the weather? I don't know. Either way, they want to protect global climate change, Agenda 21, and they're going to do that any way they know how. And how are those ways? Well, we find that on letter G here on the next page, education for sustainable development. Let me reword that. How about brainwashing techniques brought into our public school systems to make children believe in Agenda 21 and global warming? That's what it is. And here's the other thing on that. Those in the power elite circles, they take advantage of our what goes on with science. Like, for example, right now we're in a solar minimum. It happens every 11 years. Every time we hit a solar minimum and there's less activity on the sun, we have weather increasing. We have more hurricanes, these types of things. So what does Al Gore do? He puts out his movie right before a solar minimum and says it's all due to climate change. It's all due to global warming. What a liar. What a crock. Same thing with these people over at Agenda 21. Same thing with the Pope. They all say, oh, we know the solar cycles of the sun. We know that there's going to be more activity right now. So let's take advantage of the American people, right? And push our Agenda 21 agenda. So it's just preying on your ignorance. Do not allow them to do that. The next one here, H, and I'm kind of sidetracking, harmony with nature. Is that pushing a kind of religion? I don't know, but I don't want to be pushed like Mother Earth. Let's all serve Mother Earth or something, but that's the New Age style that they're pushing in. The next letter there, ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable energy. That's all about changing money hands. They care not about the environment or anything like that. I think it's all just changing hands. Number 22 is another doozy. Globalization and interdependence. Role of the United Nations in promoting development in the context of globalization and interdependence. So how do we get a global interdependent economy, right? Or global interdependent persons, global citizens. That was something that is part of the Agenda 21, 17 slated agendas that I talked about earlier this year. That is the goal. Make you and me global citizens. Well, I'm not part of that game. And then 27, moving towards a global partnership. Next page here. This is page 4. They talk about social development, including questions relating to world social situations like youth, aging, disabled persons, and the family. Hopefully, that's not going to get into the euthanasia part aspect of that, where they want to just kill people, you know, at a certain age or whatever. I mean, I don't even want to go there. But it's just sad. Letter B here, maintenance of international peace and security, you know, because here they have, don't forget, they have their own peacemakers, the blue hats, right? They go and they promote peace using weapons. Yeah, that's not peace. 33, support by UN systems of efforts of governments to promote and consolidate new or restored democracies. Really, I wonder what kind of democracy that is to you, or what kind of government that is to you, United Nations, because I don't see it. 34, the role of diamonds in fueling. 35, prevention of armed conflict. 38, if you're a study of biblical prophecy, questions of Palestine. 43, the situation in Central America. Progress in fashioning a region of peace, freedom, democracy, and development. I don't want the UN in America, but here they are putting their little nose into our stuff, saying, let's get involved in America. The next page, 51, effects of atomic radiation. Like you don't already know that. 52, peace in outer space. 64, permanent sovereignty. If you're a Bible prophecy studier, this is big. Permanent sovereignty of the Palestinian people in occupied Palestine territory, including East Jerusalem. East Jerusalem. Is that hinting at who they want to give the capital to? Maybe. Next page here, promotion of human rights, elimination of racism, radical or racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related to intolerance. Look, they're using this to implement and promote their censorship. They're saying, or push censorship of people like me. Anyone in opposition to what they want, they're calling you a racist. They're calling me a racist so they can implement their Agenda 21. This is not just an America thing. This is coming straight from the UN and being pushed on the American people. That is where the whole racial thing is birthed and comes from, in my opinion. All right, moving on to 2 pages back. Page 8, disarmament. Now we know that the entire United Nations has a whole website devoted to disarmament, whole peacekeepers, radical recruitment agents that are specifically tasked with taking guns away from people. That's a fact. Well, here we have, they're going to be talking about it at the 72nd General Assembly, number 96, establishment of a nuclear-free zone in the Middle East. 98, an arms race in outer space. 99, role of science and technology in international security and disarmament. 100, general and complete disarmament of us, basically. And it gets into all the little sub ones. I'll read a few. Treaty banning, nuclear disarmament, relationship between disarmament and development, conventional arms control, weapon-free South Hemisphere, weapons-free South Hemisphere and adjacent territories, don't forget those. Nuclear-free world, illicit trade in small arms and light weapons and all its aspects. So a lot of little subcategories there, but they really get into a lot of that. Now the rest of the report, pages like 10 on, just gets into the finance and who they want to hire and all that stuff, or who they want to elect, for the United Nations. But there you have it. Hopefully I didn't go too long, but those are the slated agendas. In a nutshell, we're talking Agenda 21. We're talking a falsified world peace. We're talking Palestine at the center of that. We're also talking brainwashing of our children into the Agenda 21 and pushing a global new world human order. A new human order. I mean, why? Obviously, we know why, but to call it that, I mean, that just sounds like we're a bunch of herded pigs and cattle going into one little area. It's sickening and it's disturbing, and I don't want the UN in the US, so get the hell out of the US. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of that. If you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up, share it on social media outlets, and subscribe to the channel. And please, please, please check out my partner at noblegoldinvestments.com. Click the link below for that. Look, all your gold and silver and precious metal needs, these are things we need to have, commodities that you have to have right now because our economy is unstable and we don't know where the dollar's going. We have states going bankrupt. Please keep that in mind. My hope is to get you guys, extra cash when everything hits the fan, and definitely Noble Gold will do that. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.